Kids Playground. Hooray!
This is the Black Lives Don't Matter podcast. That's what I said. Black lives don't matter. What kind of up podcast is this? Black lives don't matter? Really? Man, who is this dude? Black guy? Wait, so a black man got a podcast called Black Lives Don't Matter. It's like President Obama waving the rebel flag. Pfft, I done seen it all now. Maybe this is what it takes. Time to shine the light on all the times black life didn't matter. Talk your truth, brother. Listen up. Let's get down with this. Because if black lives really mattered, we wouldn't need a movement. Now would we? For full episodes, subscribe to Black Lives Don't Matter, where you get your podcasts.
Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to Black Lives Don't Matter. I'm your host, Darren Harris. Today, I'm talking about something that has, well, it kind of pissed me off. I woke up this morning to it and it really kind of pissed me off. There's a country music singer. His name is Jason Aldene. And he had a song come out. It came out a few months ago. But then the video just recently came out. And I watched it. And the song is called Try That in a Small Town. Okay? It's called Try That in a Small Town. And the gist of the song is basically, if you're carjacking somebody or trying to stick up the liquor store, or mainly things that would happen in lower income neighborhoods or neighborhoods where people don't really have everything that they need. Neighborhoods where there's a higher crime rate. I don't have to necessarily call out these neighborhoods. We know where they are. And we know exactly what you mean, Jason. We know exactly what you mean when you say, try that shit in a small town. And we know exactly who you're talking to. We ain't stupid, man. At least I ain't. I ain't stupid. The song itself is, in my opinion, extremely divisive and really kind of shows his true colors. And he got on TV and tried to say, oh, no, that's not what my song meant. Well, a whole bunch of people took it that way, so much so that CMT has, or Country Music Television, has pulled the video. The country people have pulled the video, recognizing how divisive it is. Now, I saw this video, and really what it is it's just him basically telling everybody, try it in a small town. There's little clips of people walking around with the American flag and the blue and the Blue Lives Matter and the blue American flag, which is just stupid. That is the new flag of white supremacy, is really what it is. You know, I think that, in my opinion, that this type of music is extremely harmful. It's programming. It's an anthem. Now, I live in a small town. I actually live in a very small town in North Florida. And I see that mentality here every single day. That good old boy, salt of the earth, corn-fed, stay in your place, boy. Everything's cool unless y'all get out of place here. And then we're going to have to show you how we do it in a small town. Well, I'm from a large town. As a matter of fact, I'm from the largest town. And I'll tell you, Mr. Aldene, say that shit in a large town. Say that shit in a large town. Bring your ass to a large town and say that shit. Because it might work down there in your small town, but up here in the city, we ain't fucking having it. All that passive-aggressive racism. You ain't fooling nobody, bro. You know exactly what you're doing. You are creating music to empower white supremacists. And that is my serious ass opinion. If you don't believe me, go listen to the fucking song. They said that it promoted a lynch mob mentality. He said, "Oh no, it didn't." But I listened to the song. I listened to the song. And he said, down here, we take care of one another. Down here, we're going to show you. Well, who the fuck is we? The police? Because I don't really think you're talking about the police. I think you're talking about you and a bunch of other fucking corn-fed, cock-sucking ass rednecks walking around town intimidating people of color if they get out of line in your town, in our small town. This shit is ridiculous. So for so many years, people say, what about, rap music? Rap music openly criticizes white people. Fucking yeah. Motherfucking right. We do. Why? Because white folks have had their fucking thumbs on us forever in this country. They really have. He's talking about if you come here and carjack. What about all the? I really don't know who you're talking about because I don't really think he's talking about Dylan Roof. I don't think he's talking about the guy who shot up the grocery store in Buffalo. I don't think he's talking about that guy. He ain't talking about George Zimmerman. He ain't talking about the guy who killed all the black churchgoers. I don't think he was talking about them. We know exactly who he's talking about. Not only do we know it, I can feel who the fuck you talking about. And my question to you, Mr. Aldene, is this. If that's not who your song is about, if we are not who your song is about, then who is it about? Huh? Who? Who is it about? Is it about the investment bankers fucking everybody? No. Because they can try that shit in a small town. They don't give a fuck. Is it about the motherfuckers voting away systems and programs for minorities and brown people? Nope. I got no tolerance for shit like this. Now, let me say this. Now I don't want people to think that I hate country people. And I really don't want you to think that I hate country music, because I actually like country music, a great deal of it. My best friend was a country music radio DJ for many, many years, and dealing with this guy man, I learned to really, really like some country music. There's a lot of great country music stars out there. There's a lot of great country music new stars out there. Country music is starting to cross over. Country music is starting to, hit the vein a little bit. It's gaining a little more popularity in recent years. Again, because it was popular before, popularity is coming back now. That's great. I think that's great. I think all music. I like heavy metal, man. I like all music. I'm a DJ. I'm programmed that way. I'm trained that way. But I don't like music that deliberately calls somebody out, man. That deliberately calls out a particular class of people. Now, I'm not justifying any of these acts. Nope, I'm not justifying that at all. How come your shit couldn't be, if you do that in a small town, we're going to call the police and let them deal with it? But that's not the title of your song. Your song is called Try That in a Small Town. Because here in a small town, we'll get your fucking ass and we'll drag you behind this motherfucking barn and we'll show your black ass, is really what you want to say. It's really how you really feel, ain't it? And we know your wife does. We know she does because she tweeted something to the effect of, don't apologize for being right. What the fuck do you know? I mean, what the fuck do you know? You don't know shit other than you ain't shit without your fucking husband. How about that? All you are is one of these fucking cock-sucking ass groupies that married a country music star. And you're going to support your man no matter what. And you got the same morals as him. So behind that, fuck you too. Okay? All right? Both of you. And for that matter, anybody else in country music or any other kind of music, fuck you too, if that's your message. Fuck you too. As much as I love music, you could be an artist that I love. But if it's on that bullshit, fuck you. And that's where I stand with it. I really don't understand. I guess I do, though. I guess I do understand why people make music like that. And it's to express how they ultimately feel. And also to help others express the way that they feel. This is a very expressive song. It wasn't like a love ballad or anything like that where you could just kind of twang your way. No, man, this guy thought about it. He sat there and looked at the news and he put a face with a crime. That's exactly what he did. If you're carjacking motherfuckers, well, you know what, man? I'm gonna tell you something, Mr. Aldene. Let me share some things with you. There has been more white violence against black citizens than any other race. We don't do it to you guys. You guys do it to us. If you don't believe me, there's been a bunch of black massacres all over the United States. All kinds of times. Chicago in 1919. Detroit, 1943. New York, 1863. That's where I'm from. Washington, D.C., also in 1919. Rosewood, Florida, in 1923. Coe, 1920. You know what I'm saying? Tulsa, 1921. That's back in the day. I'm not even talking about the modern shit like your boy who lit up the grocery store in Buffalo. And like I said, I bet you wasn't talking about that motherfucker at all. If you were, you would have said, try that shit here. Try marching into a small grocery store in this small town and see. But you weren't concerned with that. You weren't concerned with that. You didn't speak out. You didn't make a song. You didn't even write a lyric about it, did you? Nope. But I guarantee you turn the fucking news on and you're on your social media feed or you're on some sort of feed or some sort of news outlet looking at this happened in this neighborhood or these people carjacked these people or these people went and robbed this liquor store. Where do people rob liquor stores at? I mean, I know this. This is simple. Where do people rob liquor stores at? They don't rob them in. They're not trying to rob Total Wine. They're not trying to rob ABC. No, they robbing a liquor store in the hood. That's where they robbing. That's where they sticking motherfuckers up in the hood. And that's where you saw this at. That's where you saw this at. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this though. We do live in a country where we have freedom of speech, where we can say pretty much whatever we want. You just have to watch what you say. But we can say pretty much whatever we want about anybody. Really. And I encourage that because that enables me to say how I feel also freely and tell you freely from the deepest reaches of my heart. Fuck you. Fuck you and the horse you rode in here on. And fuck your music. And really, honestly, anybody bumping that song on some bob in your head and singing the lyrics, fuck you too. Because I know how you feel. I know how you feel because I'll tell you what. If I don't like a song, I don't listen to it. If I don't like the message of it, I don't listen to it. This is obviously a very popular song amongst the country population. Okay. But just keep in mind, fuck you. Just keep that in mind. When you roll up on me, talk, hey, how you? Fuck you. Okay? That's just what it's going to be now. Because it has to be. Because that's essentially what you've told me. And told my community. And really, you just really stereotype this shit. Because I'll tell you straight like this, Mr. Aldene. There's white folks who do it too. There's white folks who carjack motherfuckers. There's white folks who rob liquor stores. All kind of shit too, man. But you weren't talking about them. And we know that you weren't. Okay? We know that you weren't. We ain't stupid, bro. We ain't stupid. So, I got a lot more shit I could be talking about. Oh, actually, you know what? There is something I want to talk about. There is one more thing I do want to talk about, but I'm going to take a really quick break. I think this is the first break that I've taken during Black Lives Don't Matter, but I'm going to take a quick, fast break, and when I come back, I got something I want to tell you guys about.
Hi, I'm Dave. I was once a scroll troll, lost in countless amounts of social media videos, feeling triggered by other people's feelings and opinions about topics I would enjoy. I would lash out and give feedback every time. To feel so attached to what others were saying was dangerous for my mental health. Choosing to leave social media and my connected devices for a day gave me a perfect detox and allowed me to become more set in reality. No more stressing over comments, just relaxation knowing that I cannot let others' opinions bother me, giving me a sense of protection from the negativity. I feel like I've strengthened my mentality. So if you ever feel the pressure of social media controlling your emotions, remember, you have a choice to put the device down and pick up life.
Now back to Black Lives Don't Matter.
Hey folks, what's up? I was talking today about country music singer Jason Aldene and his bullshit ass song, Try That Shit in a Small Town, or Try It in a Small Town, or whatever the fuck he wants to call it. And I just want to say that I encourage everybody, sing about the shit you want to sing about. And not only that, stand up in it. At least do that. Have the decency to stand up in your bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing I guess I like about the rap dudes, because they stand up in their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So This goes for all you country music heads out here who really got a problem with us. Make that music. Make that music so we can know who the fuck you are. And so we can know who your supporters are. So we can know ourselves what to be prepared for. Okay? Do us that favor, and I promise you we'll do the same favor for you. It's obvious that to Jason Aldene, Black lives truly don't matter. Now do they? So before I went to break, I was telling you folks about some things that I wanted to talk to you about, and I think this is very poignant. As you know, I have several social media outlets that I post to. I have Facebook like everybody. I got Instagram like everybody. I got rid of my Snapchat. I didn't really use it too much. I have YouTube and I have Twitter. Now, I've had all of those for quite some time. And as a creator, I mean, somebody told me, oh, you know, you're a creator. Oh, wow, I guess I am a creator. But as a creator, I've noticed there's been a lot of discrepancy between the way that creators get paid, the way that creators get viewed, how much exposure they get based on their race. And it's true. I did a podcast called, I forgot what it was called, but it was on my other podcast, the Darren Harris podcast. And it was basically about content create. That's what it was. It was content creating while black, which I think I might do another one of these just because of some of these new things that I found. And what I really found, what I want to tell everybody about there are several new, if you are looking for an alternative to some of these social media platforms, I have compiled a couple. Okay. There are a few that I was looking at. Let me see. Let me get to my information. Where's my information at? Let me get to my information. I had some information locked away, but apparently it is gone. But I'll just go ahead and go through it. There are a few new social media apps. The social media apps for not just black people, but people of color. People of color. Mainly black people, but also people of color. And I absolutely love this. And I'll tell you why I love it. Because, like I said, we don't get the exposure that we should get from Mark Zuckerberg and his friends, or Elon Musk and his friends, or any of these people. We don't get any exposure. We get our content stolen by white creators constantly. And we don't get any credit for it. And they make all the revenue from it. They gain all the following from things that we create. So now I've found at least there's four. There's four that I've found that are black-owned social media companies that are alternatives to all of your social media. And there's a few. The first one is called Spill. Spill is, I guess, as I open the app, it's like Twitter, but made by black folks, for black folks, or people of color, I should say. I'll say people of color because that's really who it is. It's for people of color. And I don't want people to get this podcast twisted. I am not anti-white. I am not an anti-white person. I think there was a little girl on the internet who said it best. I'm not anti-white, and I don't want to call her a little girl. I'm call her a lady. She said, I'm not anti-white. I'm just pro-black. And that's really what it is. I'm not anti-white. I'm just really, really, really pro-black. And I'm anti-anything that is anti-black. Hear me? Feel me? So let's get it straight. I don't hate you if you don't hate me. But if you got some issues with me based on the color of my skin, I don't have those same issues with you. I have an issue with your mentality. I have an issue with your upbringing. I have an issue with your commitment to God. I have an issue with all of that shit. So just keep that in mind. So anyway, like I said, Spill is like a version of Twitter. that you can kind of navigate to. Then there's another one called Frequency People, and of course we know about that. Just on some frequency. Because we all know that we vibrate at a different frequency, and of course we recognize that, and that's what it's called. It's called Frequency People. Give that a check out. It's like a Instagram type deal, you know. I mean, like a Instagram type thing. Then there's Threads, which again is it's not really necessarily for black folks. It's a Twitter alternative if you're looking to leave Twitter. But we all know who Meta is owned by, and it ain't us. Now, I could sign into Threads. I haven't yet because I'm going to give a couple of these other platforms a try before I jump on to these other ones. And the last one I want to talk about, which is probably the most popular, is called Melanin People. And that's what it says, people with melanin. And it's pretty self-explanatory who it's for. So if you have melanated skin, the Melanin People site, I do like. It's very professional. And it's very mature. It has a lot of well-to-do, forward-thinking black brothers and sisters, kings and queens on the platform. So I highly recommend it. There is, I believe, on this one there is a waiting list though, but I've put my name on the waiting list, and hopefully I will get approved for it, which I'm sure I will. I'm melanated people, so I'm definitely gonna give it the college try to see what it's about. I hope that it's great, because I really would like to continue to use these platforms and maybe slowly wean myself off of these other ones, because they don't cater to us. They don't love us. Like Snoop said, they don't love us, man. They don't love us. They love everything that we could do for them, and then they strip what we could do for them and give them to them, and they leave us with nothing. So these are opportunities for us to get some stuff for ourselves, to get a little bit of burn for ourselves, to get ourselves out in front of our people, to bring us together socially. Have good dialect, have positive dialect, to try to, get up out of these things, man, to try to get up out of this and leave them to whatever it is they want to be left to. So, well, folks, I think that is going to do it for this episode of the Black Lives Don't Matter podcast. And like I said, I hate doing this podcast, but I guess this episode was kind of fun. I really did want everybody to know about the new social media platforms, but I did want you to know as well about some of the music that's being broadcast out here. Keep your ears open, folks. And even though, the governor of Florida is, saying that Florida is where woke goes to die, like a dumbass. He's a dumbass because he doesn't even understand the concept of what woke is. But anyway, stay woke, folks. I'm in Florida. I'm woke as fuck. I'm going to stay woke. You can't stop me. So I'm going to continue to stay woke. You guys stay woke. And I'll tell you what, folks. We got to make us matter. We got to make Black lives matter. We have to make our lives matter. It's clear, because right now, honestly, this guy's making it's clear that our lives do not mean anything to Jason Aldene. They don't mean, black lives don't mean anything to Jason, because if they did, we wouldn't need a movement. Thanks for listening, folks. My name is Darren. This has been the Black Lives Don't Matter podcast. Peace.